Hey traders, just wanted to look real quick at a couple altcoins that have been forgotten pretty much. I don't know, it's just because this meta that's been going on with altcoins has just been so bad. I mean, US dollar pairs in the past 6 weeks have just been getting destroyed. You think about ADA right here, looking at it. In 5 to 6 weeks, it lost half its value. Right, went from 10 cents, over 10 cents to 5.19 cents. So its bounce off of critical support was very weak, very, very weak. And so now you're right back at it again. Okay, so there is, in my opinion, a potential harmonic pattern. This is a bullish cipher. Okay, the pattern completion zone of this harmonic is a 78.6% retrace down at 4.3 cents. And there's also the 1414 fib extension. This is a zone right here. I would call it a PCZ zone. That is where one would take an entry for a long. I mean, think about it. Altcoin Ice Age. Think about the Bitcoin dominance being over 70%. That new meta, right, where we haven't seen Bitcoin at that level of market cap dominance since July of 2017. And that was when, Bitcoin was about to dump and be at 35% total market cap dominance for a little while before the eventual recovery. And here we are. Here Bitcoin is again at some of the highest levels it's seen in over 2 years for market cap dominance. Anyway, so what could happen in this situation is if we did break down to this zone, the price reversal zone, pattern completion zone, we could, in fact, it does look like on the daily time scale, we could have some bullish divergence occur, right? Where you're already at this support, you start selling off again, and you get down to 4 cents, could very well develop ourselves. Oh, wow. Why is it being gross like that? Oh, my God, man. Okay, we could get something like this on the histogram. And that could be the coinciding variables we're looking for at a PCZ, where you have two, you have a X to C 786, and you have a B to C fib extension of a 1414 141.4% retrace with bullish divergence on the MACD, and potentially the RSI could be we could sell off and get oversold again and be diverging in oversold territory, which will be very good. Seen that before. Blast it all. All right, so I mean, yeah, really the divergence here that we saw, look what it manifested into, much higher prices. And so you've broken out of the downtrend you'd been in for 8 to 10 months. And you could still very well get a higher low in this situation. I mean, these are just deep retraces. That's why these harmonics are pretty accurate. They can be. I mean, assuming Bitcoin holds up, Bitcoin sells off here, that would be what ADA needs to get to its level, right? But the thing is, I don't even know if Bitcoin bounces here, for instance, right? Is ADA really going to bounce? Because look, think about it. From this peak here, June 26th, Bitcoin recovered. Real quick, let me. Bitcoin hit maybe a 65% retrace, where Cardano maybe only hit a 23% retrace. That's the type of recovery these altcoins are getting with Bitcoin recovering. It's very bad, man. Very, very weak. So even a Bitcoin bounce here, I don't know if you're going to get much of a break to the upside. I mean, maybe it's a double bottom, potential double bottom, but I think there are lower risk areas for a trade at, again, between 4 cents and 4.359 cents. Okay, and if it did happen that way, high to low, we'll say we did pivot there, right, at the PCZ. Your targets, if you're being more conservative, 38% retrace. 61.8% retrace. And 88% retrace, really where A is. I think that's good. And up here too, maybe you go a little bit lower. Right, you see what this candle closes are. Use critical thinking, right? Maybe that's where we stop. If it went up, right? If like we broke to the upside. So those are ways to, you know, you would have to, if one was to take profit of the 382, one would have to have a tighter stop than X, right? In the book, The Ultimate Harmonic, Casey Stubbs, the way they do it, I'll just get my long tool, right? They will have a stop below X, and this is exactly what saved my butt on the Bitcoin trade, right? For the bullish cipher that occurred that actually played out and hit all its targets. So the way they do it is they swing for the fences, right? They don't take profit on the way up. They don't layer out or anything. I mean, they do, of course. There's different profiting levels, but they're just, make sure this is good. Okay. So the way they take profit is at the top of the harmonics. So A and C. So you got a 3.61 to 1 reward to risk, and you have a 4.24 to 1 reward to risk, A and C. So that is what allows them to afford a stop loss below X, because it mathematically makes sense with if say these were your targets, you couldn't have a stop loss tight. I mean, if you had if you were going to have a tight stop, you're more there's a higher likelihood you could get stopped out. If it comes down to, you know, a much lower level, gets a 95% retrace. If it does the wick exactly what Bitcoin did, then you're going to get stopped out. But if you have a tighter stop, then one can take profit at much lower levels. So it's all about your appetite for reward to risk. Are you willing to lose this much if it failed to see if the trade would play out? That's what you have to ask. It's overhead, man. Stop losses are overhead for traders. Think about a restaurant owner. They have to buy food, right? Right. They have to pay their employees. They have to do, you know, pay their vendors. Well, traders have to get stopped out sometimes because we don't know if it's going to play out, but we're willing to lose this much in order to see if the trade would play out to the upside. If it did, then, you know, high rewards. All right, that's ADA. It's just a way of looking at it, right? Casey Stubbs, awesome. XLM. Not gonna spend too much more time on this. You know, it's like I did Cardano, but like this thing was beautiful. It was in an uptrend on the 4-hour. It was so spectacular. I mean, symmetrical triangle breakout, ascending triangle breakout, rising wedge breakout, symmetrical triangle pennant breakout, and then that was it, dude. And then you broke the channel. Look what happened when you broke this upswing support. It was all over for XLM. You're in a new. You've created a new range, and you're near the bottom of the range. So yes, a lot of people could argue that there's a low risk area here, but just as we came down to it, we rallied, made a lower high. It was very terrible, man. And just selling off methodically again back to the area. We were showing divergence down here, and we did get the break to the upside, but not enough buying pressure to push this higher. And so here we are again. All right. So, I mean, typically in a range, you would prefer the range to be like this, where there was a bullish impulse and you're at the bottom of a range. Those are the best longs. Now here, you know, you are coming down to it. It's not really a bullish rectangle at all. Bullish range, it's a bearish, right? So, but if one's taken, I mean, despite anything, if one's taken a shot, one can just have a relatively tight stop. I mean, it's this simple, man. See, like a resistance up, multiple resistance points, right? And this affords you a looser stop if you wanted to, because like, what if the, you know, price dips down before coming up and then going, right? So, you know, 3.94 to 1 reward to risk with a looser stop. There you go, man. Because like, if this thing really was to be exhausted and to have a false breakout and was to come back and to spring to the upside and back test the spring and then rally to the top of the range, I mean, there's not many places it's going to stop, right? Once the sellers, confirm they're exhausted, I mean, that's how it works at the bottom of ranges. And then to the top. I mean, it's really like, and if one wanted to, they could have a, you know, secure profit in any way. Like look left, you could also use Fibonacci from the high point to low point, but we have no idea how to fib this yet because this could go much lower. All right, but these altcoins have gotten destroyed, man. And if they're range bound and they're nearing the bottom of the range for the second time, could be a double bottom, could be a lower low double bottom, shortening of the thrust, lower low, just to stop people out, and then we spring to the upside, back test, and run again. But as it stands now, I'm sorry, these altcoins are doing terrible compared to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin pumps, they barely do anything. When Bitcoin dumps, they do about the same amount, right? They dump the same amount percentage-wise that Bitcoin does. Bitcoin being down about 3.29% right now. You always have to think about with these altcoins, Bitcoin. It used to be a lot more, right? And other times when it was like, okay, if Bitcoin breaks the upside, these alts are going to break the upside too. It's not like that right now. It hasn't been like that for a while. It's been mainly all Bitcoin. Okay, so just want to look at these again. It's been a while. Just wanted to talk about, maybe lower risk areas just because they've been getting beaten down so much. So if you enjoyed the static video, hit that like button, that bell, that sub. Please leave a comment in the description below. I'll be live in a little while. So until next time, respect the TA.